Thomas Hayes had learned to navigate life alone after his wife passed 3 years ago. At 52, he was raising his teenage daughter Emma while working as a building maintenance supervisor. The gray at his temples had spread quickly during those difficult years, but his kind eyes still held warmth. That Tuesday evening started like any other. He received an urgent call about a water leak on the executive floor. Grabbing his toolbox, he rushed to the 20th floor, mentally reviewing which office needed attention. He turned the handle of Suite 2007 and stepped inside. The woman standing there froze mid-motion, her blue silk dress half-zipped, her dark hair cascading over bare shoulders. Their eyes met in the floor-to-ceiling window's reflection. "Oh, God! I am so sorry," Thomas stammered, immediately turning away. "I thought this was 2008. The leak, I was told." "It's all right," she said quietly, her voice steady despite the circumstances. "Give me just a moment." He stood facing the door, his heart pounding with embarrassment. He heard the soft sound of the zipper, then her cleared throat. "You can turn around now." Victoria Chin stood there fully dressed, a slight smile softening what could have been an awkward moment. She was in her late 40s, with an elegance that came from confidence rather than pretense. "I'm Thomas Hayes, maintenance," he explained quickly. "There's supposedly a leak in 2008. I'm terribly sorry for barging in." "Victoria Chun," she replied, extending her hand. "And I'm the one who should apologize. I specifically chose to work late, so I could change for a dinner meeting without going home. I should have locked the door." Something about her grace in handling the situation struck him. No anger, no demands to see his supervisor, just human understanding. "The leak is next door," she continued. "But since you're here, my office faucet has been dripping for weeks. Nobody's had time to fix it." Thomas welcomed the distraction from his embarrassment as he worked on the faucet. They talked. She asked about his work, and he found himself mentioning Emma, how she was struggling with chemistry, but excelling in art. "My son went through the same thing at that age," Victoria shared. "He's 23 now, working in Seattle. Some days, I wonder where the time went." The repair took 15 minutes, but their conversation stretched to 30. When he finished, Victoria insisted on walking him to the correct office for the leak repair. "Thank you, Thomas," she said before leaving, "for the faucet and for being so respectful about my moment of vulnerability." He thought that would be the end of it, but 2 days later, his supervisor called him to the main office. "Hayes, I don't know what you did, but the CEO specifically requested you handle all maintenance issues on the executive floor from now on." Thomas felt his stomach drop. "The CEO?" "Victoria Chun. Apparently, she was impressed with your work." Over the following weeks, Thomas found himself called to the executive floor regularly. Some issues were legitimate. A stuck window, a flickering light. Others seemed almost invented. Each time, Victoria would appear, striking up conversation while he worked. She asked about Emma's art show. He mentioned his late wife's love of gardening, how he struggled to keep her roses alive. Victoria listened with genuine interest, sharing her own stories of loss and adaptation after her divorce. "My ex-husband thought success meant working 80-hour weeks," she confided one evening. "By the time I became CEO, he was gone and my son barely knew me. I'm still trying to rebuild that bridge." Thomas found himself looking forward to these encounters. Victoria was brilliant and accomplished, yet she never made him feel beneath her. She asked his opinion on office renovations, valued his perspective on workplace culture from a maintenance worker's view. One Friday, as he finished replacing an air filter, Victoria hesitated before speaking. "Thomas, I have a strange question. Would you be willing to help me with something personal?" His pulse quickened. "Of course. My ex-husband kept our home in the divorce. I bought a small house last year, but I never planted a garden I dreamed of. You mentioned your wife's roses. Would you help me plan something? I'd pay you, naturally." "I don't want payment," he said. "I'd be honored to help." That Saturday, he arrived at her modest 2-story home, surprised by its warmth and simplicity. Together, they planned flower beds and chose plants. Emma came along, and Victoria showed genuine interest in her artwork, offering suggestions that made his daughter's eyes light up. As spring turned to summer, the garden grew, and so did their friendship. Victoria attended Emma's art show, buying one of her paintings. Thomas met her son Daniel during a visit from Seattle, and they all had dinner together. The other maintenance workers started asking questions. A few made crude jokes. Thomas ignored them, but Victoria noticed his discomfort. "Let them talk," she said firmly one evening. "I spent too many years caring what people thought. I'm not going to waste whatever time I have left worrying about gossip." Her words struck him deeply. His late wife had said something similar during her illness. Life was too short for unnecessary worry. On a warm August evening, as Thomas finished his shift, Victoria appeared in the lobby. "Walk with me?" she asked. They strolled to the nearby park, past couples and families enjoying the summer evening. Victoria stopped at a bench overlooking a small pond. "Thomas, that day you accidentally walked into my office, I was at my lowest point. I just received divorce papers finalizing everything. I was changing because I couldn't bear going home to an empty house. I felt invisible, irrelevant." She turned to face him. "Then you walked in, and instead of seeing a CEO or a woman half-dressed, you just saw another person deserving of dignity and respect. That simple act of decency reminded me of something I'd forgotten." "What's that?" Thomas asked softly. "That kindness still exists. That connection still matters." She reached for his hand tentatively. He took it, feeling the warmth of her palm against his. "I'm not sure what this is," she continued. "I only know that talking with you has become the best part of my days. You've helped me become a better mother, taught me that vulnerability isn't weakness. You've shown me a different kind of strength." Thomas felt tears prick his eyes. "You helped me too. After Sarah died, I thought that chapter of my life was closed. You reminded me that second chances exist, that it's okay to feel again." Their relationship evolved slowly, built on genuine respect and shared understanding. Victoria stepped back from some CEO duties to spend more time with Daniel. Thomas found himself dreaming again, planning beyond just the next day. Emma and Daniel became friends. The four of them created a patchwork family, imperfect but real. A year after that accidental encounter, Thomas and Victoria stood in her garden, now blooming with roses and wildflowers. Emma was showing Daniel her latest artwork, while Victoria's golden retriever chased butterflies. "If someone had told me that opening the wrong door would change my entire life," Thomas said, pulling Victoria close, "I never would have believed them." "Maybe it wasn't the wrong door," Victoria replied, resting her head on his shoulder. "Maybe it was exactly the right one, just at a time when neither of us was expecting it." Sometimes the best chapters of our lives begin with unexpected moments. Sometimes grace arrives through an unlocked door, reminding us that vulnerability and kindness can transform everything. And sometimes, when we stop looking, love finds us anyway, patient, gentle, and real. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories about second chances and unexpected blessings. Leave a comment below sharing your own story of an unexpected encounter that changed your life. Your story might inspire someone who needs hope today. Retry Claude can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.